Picking the wrong niche is like using the wrong equipment for a workout. Imagine going to the gym to train biceps and you end up using a treadmill. Even though you're technically working out, you're focusing on the complete wrong thing, and you're absolutely not going to get the results you're after. Today we're going through the worst SMMA niches and why they are so bad. And stick around till the end because I'm going to choose one niche that you're never going to see coming. My name is Dylan and I run a multi-six-figure agency, a coaching company, and an investment fund that actually buys other marketing agencies. I've amassed a ton of knowledge in the SMMA space and it's your lucky day because I'm about to pass it on to you. Niche 1, dentists. Have you ever been to a dentist and feel like you're sitting around in the waiting area waiting to get seen? That's because most dentists are swamped. They actually cannot keep up with the amount of clients on their books. Now, if you're thinking, doesn't that mean they actually need our help? The answer is no, because it's our job to get them more clients. And if they're swamped, we're not really going to offer them very much. And even if we could offer them anything, the owner of a dentist is usually called a principal dentist. And that means they're actually in the chair performing surgeries, procedures, checkups on patients every single day. You're never going to get these guys on the phone, which means you're never going to book a meeting, which means you're going to be swimming up current from the outset. And if you do get someone on the phone, it's going to be a receptionist or a gatekeeper, and you're never going to get past them. You're never going to speak to the person that actually makes the decision. And even if you get past the receptionist, do you think a dentist, after a long day of doing root canals and checkups and fixing people's teeth, they're going to want to speak to you about funnels and landing pages and Facebook ads? The answer is no. Stay away from this niche. It is a nightmare. Niche number 2, law firms. Law firms are very similar to dentists in a lot of respects, and they are just going to be a complete disaster, and I'm going to tell you why. Lawyers are simply too busy. Picture a busy law firm. If anybody's watched Suits, you know exactly what I'm talking about. These guys are up to their eyeballs in workload. And when their inbox is absolutely peppered with emails like, I can guarantee you 20 leads, I can guarantee you 30 leads, they simply do not care, and it's not even going to register with them. On top of that, most mid to large law firms have huge client lists, and you can't really do much for them. What about small law firms, you're asking? Would that not work? In my experience, not necessarily. Most small law firms are super busy as well. You might get one or two that aren't that busy and could use your services, but in terms of outreach, it's going to be a guessing game, which is not what we want. My advice, save yourself the guesswork and avoid this niche completely. Niche 3, vets. According to a recent study from the US government, there's a shortage of 15,000 veterinary clinics in the US. Now, what does that mean for us as marketers? That means there is a huge shortfall in veterinary clinics around the US, and it means they actually have way too many clients per clinic than too few. As a marketer, we want to be able to add value to businesses. If the businesses that we're walking into already have a ton of customers, then what value can we add? It's going to be very difficult for us to offer a service to them. And even if you somehow luckily scrape your way into the door of a veterinary clinic, after a month or two when they see that you actually can't provide them any more clients than they're organically getting or naturally getting through word of mouth, they're not going to want you to stay for very long. So avoid all this wasted time and don't go down this avenue or niche in the first place. Niche 4, mechanics. At first glance, mechanics might actually seem like a really good niche because everybody has a car, therefore everybody needs their car repaired. Whilst technically true, mechanics actually have really tight margins, which can lead to profit issues and when they don't have a huge ad spend to run ads. A lot of them also really rely on their reputation and word of mouth marketing. If you speak to anyone, they've probably been going to the same mechanic for years, and mechanics rely on this for their business, sales, and marketing. What does that mean for us though as SMMA owners? It means they don't really need digital marketing in short. Obviously, there's exceptions to this, there's exceptions to everything, but generally this is how it's going to work, and it's going to be really, really hard to get in with mechanics. One quick tip here with any niche is always look at the marketing budget or always look at the monthly ad spend they could spend. With mechanics, it's going to be super low because they've got small margins. So this is something you could use to determine your future niche. Niche 5, restaurants. So I actually did marketing when I first started out my agency, and let me tell you from personal experience, it was a complete headache. Think about it. When's the last time you went to a restaurant because you've seen a Facebook or Instagram ad? I don't know about you, but I can't remember the last time I went to a restaurant for that reason. You always go to a restaurant because someone recommended it to you. Restaurants are another niche that hugely rely on word of mouth marketing. And much like mechanics, they're operating off razor thin margins, sometimes as low as 8, 9, 10%. So they're not going to have huge ad spend to pump into Facebook, Google, or whatever it may be. Take it from me, this is a really tough niche. Niche 6, med spas. I actually find this to be a really, really interesting one because med spas used to be an absolute hidden gem of an SMMA niche. However, unfortunately, over the last couple of years, many YouTubers have revealed this is the actual niche they use in their own agency. And as a result, the market has been completely flooded. So you're late to the party on this one, unfortunately. Let me put it like this. Do you ever drive into a parking lot that's completely full and you keep circling and circling and circling looking for a space, even though you know it's full? That's kind of like what med spas is right now. And another valuable lesson is here, just because someone else is having success with the niche doesn't mean you have to jump into it. It actually means you're probably late to the party. Niche 7, e-commerce. Good old e-com, the niche SMMA is actually probably most well known for. E-commerce is a bad niche and I'm about to tell you why. Why can I tell you that? Because I've actually done e-commerce for well over a year myself in my own agency. You can check out my other videos where I go into detail on that, but I'm going to summarize it here for you. First off, all the lucrative big e-commerce brands have in-house marketing teams. That means there's absolutely no need for you or I to come and run their Facebook or Google ads. They have somebody in-house running it for them, full time. In other words, they're not hiring. But what makes this niche even more difficult as a beginner is these people are very, very tech savvy. They've been running their own Facebook ads for years and they probably know more about running a Facebook ad than you as a beginner do. So you can offer them very little value. And this is where you're going to get caught out. They'll see a beginner coming a mile away and you'll not be able to add any value to that business. So now I actually want to talk about why niche hopping is so counterproductive to you and your agency. Some of you when starting out might want to bounce around a few niches to see where you can get some sort of traction and then go from there. And I had similar thoughts when I was starting my agency. However, throwing spaghetti at the wall and hoping something will stick is probably one of the worst things you can do right now. If you spread yourself too thin and continue to hop around multiple niches, you're going to be mediocre at best at most of them. Whereas if you're in a niche and it's a difficult niche and maybe you're struggling to get results, staying in that specific niche, working out how to master it is the best thing you can do because you're going to become an expert and you're actually going to be able to land clients and master that niche. And that's what's key to growing your agency. If you want growth, you have to master one niche. Please avoid the temptation of jumping around trying to find traction in multiple niches. So there you go. I've given you the most difficult niches to start out with in SMMA. I want you to feel as confident as possible and go for that low-hanging fruit when starting out your agency and avoid as much wasted time as possible. I genuinely hope this information has been helpful to you and it's something I wish I had in my back pocket when I was starting my agency. It would have saved me months of wasted time. Now you're probably sitting there thinking, Dylan, what niches do you recommend to start? And that's a great question. If you hit that subscribe button, I'm going to be dropping a video next week on the 7 best niches to start in 2024. And if you're facing challenges right now getting your first couple of clients, or you want to scale to 10, 20, and even 30K per month with your agency, click the link in my bio and schedule a meeting with my team and I, and we will create a custom plan on how to get you there. Thanks for watching. See you in the next video.